Hey everyone, this is Kimberly,
And I'm Sean.
and we're with the Hench-Kin's Guild of Halifax.
We're really sorry that we couldn't, no one could make it to MiniCon this Saturday. But while we're all being responsible and doing the lockdown thing, there are a lot of cool ways that you can do neat things with RPGs during lockdown. And we're going to talk about some of those, aren't we, Kimberly?
We are. We're here with some tips for you if you are a beginner to RPGs and just kind of wondering, well, where the heck do I start? First thing we wanted to tell you about is if you're in a household with children under the age of, say, 10 or 12, depending on the child, we have this one game here that we really like called No Thank You Evil. It's a box set, as you can see, and it is a good place for grown-ups to start, and particularly for kids, because it helps them with a decision process as you go through simple role-playing scenarios with them. It's a fun little game. We enjoy it very much. If you have older kids in the house, say 10 or 12 and up, or if you're just wanting to play games with other adults at home, there are so many RPGs. It's pretty much any fandom I can think of. There's at least one pretty good RPG for it. If you like Doctor Who, there's a Doctor Who RPG.
Yeah, absolutely. Star Wars, superheroes, horror movies,
There's
spies,
Marvel.
everything. Yeah.
There's Star Trek, there's Star Wars, there's all kinds of them, and I know that they're widely available.
Yeah.
Online and locally.
Absolutely. And if you're new to RPGs and you've got some people in your household and you want to check them out, often what you'll want to look for is a starter set or a beginner game. They're box sets that are designed for someone who hasn't played a game before to learn how to play it and teach others.
Like those?
Dungeons and Dragons, of course, would be the classic game that people think of when they think of RPGs. But then we also have things like Star Wars, and there are several other games which have these usually inexpensive box sets. In terms of where you can find them, it's worth noting that a lot of our local merchants a lot of our local game stores are making accommodations for COVID-19. I know that the boardroom and the deck box are doing delivery. I believe Cape and Cal is mailing packages out, and I believe Monster, which is a great used RPG supply, is still running with limited admission. Certainly we would suggest that you support your local stores during this crisis when you have the opportunity. But you can also look online. Drive-Thru RPG is a great resource for cheap digital PDF games. And there's a lot of other cool things you can do online as well. There are lots of what we call actual play live streams, or where you can actually watch people play RPGs who are funny. There are some very famous ones with like Critical Role or LA by Night or The Adventure Zone, but there are also some very cool actual play podcasts that have local connections, like College of Lore or D20 Dames. So there's lots of cool, and that's a really cool way to see an RPG in play, see what it looks like without having to put down the money yourself.
See if you might be interested to play it.
Exactly, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, and then there are a lot of ways that you could play these games online with people who are not in your house.
Oh yeah, we are playing so many RPGs right now. It's crazy,
and not just us.
Yeah, no, there are lots of cool tools. There are fancy ones like websites like Roll20.net or Tabletop Simulator that allow you to have like virtual maps and tables and figures moving around. and you can set up voice chat with a tool so that people can talk while they're looking at the map. But there are simpler ways too. The ways we use for other things.
Yeah, like it's really easy in RPGs, since they are all about a group of people telling a story together. You can do it the way you do other things. You can get a Facebook Messenger going. You can do a FaceTime. You can do a Zoom meeting, and play your game that way as well. And as far as online resources go, there's always the Hench-Kin's Guild of Halifax. We have a Facebook page and group that is pretty much just a bunch of people who like to play RPGs, and they would love to talk to you about them.
Oh yes, they would.
So if you have any questions for us or for our group of RPG playing friends, that's a good online resource, the Facebook page. That's about what we've got. So we do hope to see you next year, and if you have any interest at all in playing RPGs, we hope that you'll ask us about these things.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next year. Bye.